You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, national insurance columnist and financial color commentator. Today on The Biz, Retirement Solutions. The genius is in the simplicity. And on today's show, developing solutions for advisors with Brooke Thomas, CEO, Thomas Gold Solutions.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting live to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And today with me, Brooke Thomas, one of the gurus that put together this retirement analyzing software. Welcome to the show, Brooke.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I got to tell you, when I think about people there's so much software out here today, and I mean there is a ton. And anytime I find somebody inventing a new piece of software, it's like, well, is the whole inventory that's out there not enough? And you guys took it to a whole new level, and a level that I have to say are a huge consumer. It really benefits the consumer. And we had on, of course, your buddy and partner in crime, we had Steve Goldstein on yesterday. The thing I liked about this was it really walks you through it. And he's a seminar guy. He's been on the street a long time. He's been an instructor and a teacher. But you sound like you're the brains behind all this, that you actually have some mechanical background. And so I want to talk a little bit about what were you doing before you got into the analytics of this? Because this takes some high-end understanding of the code, mathematics, and timeline thinking.
Absolutely. Well, I started out as a producer at 23, and needless to say, being female and young, I had my work cut out for me, and I really had to figure out something to differentiate myself from the competition. So this tool made it simple. I could knock on any door and answer any client question, and it really was simple.
Let me stop you there because I'm kind of curious. We know that there's a small percentage of female advisors in the United States. And I mean, think about it. Our show pulls 30% of our audience is female. So it's certainly not indicative of those who are licensed.
Right.
But when you thought about this, did you feel like you needed to find something to cut you out of the pack? Is that why you went this way?
I did, because for me, like I said, being female and young, product wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to differentiate me. So if I could show a client this right here with the red line and show them, this is where you're running out of money, and it's a reality check, and maybe you need to take a look at what you're doing and if you're making the right moves.
I think most of our sales today are predicated on having a product inventory, and I see a lot of people that are unsuccessful because they think, hey, I have my products, I have my 4 or 5 core product line that I use, but it's not really showing, they're not really doing what I would call decent compensation, or they're not earning a living. But when I'm looking out, and of course we're right on your website right now, and this is a web-based solution that you can, again, one of our giveaways on the show is we're giving a 14-day trial on this. So if you just want to write me, thebiz@brokersalliance.com, we'll set you up for a 14-day trial. But you just said the red line, and anytime I hear red line, I'm thinking, I'm redlining, I'm flatlining,
Exactly.
you know. So talk a little bit about the red line, because this is really where clients get a visual of what's happening today, but what's going to be happening tomorrow. Talk a little bit about that.
This red line is truly where the rubber meets the road in our program. It's taking everything that's happening in the client's life, regardless of whether they're working or retired or making contributions, and it's showing you a snapshot of what their future looks like. Now, in this example here, the client's running out of money. You see a big red line. It makes it very visual, where a client, they might want to argue with you about numbers, but this puts it, like I said, very visual and right in front of their face where they can see it.
Well, when I think about, well, you know, when I was listening to Steve yesterday's show, he says, current. We first of all show you, here's today. Then they look at that red line and they go, I was surprised when he said this too, by the way, that people are actually shocked that they did not see this coming. I thought people would say, well, you know, I really don't have probably enough money. I thought there'd be a little weight to this. But Steve said, after all the seminars he did, and now you're doing all this analytic work behind the scenes, you come up there and we show them this red line, and clients actually go through a huge, for lack of a better word, they actually freak on this.
They do. It's extremely emotional. Steve and I have both had clients break down and start crying in a meeting. And it's extremely emotional. But the good news is the software will allow you to go back and take this terrible situation, provide alternatives so that they don't run out of money. And that builds a lot of trust.
I'm just curious, can you give me 1 or 2 alternatives that can push this red line into the future?
Sure. Working longer, huge one. Clients can sell their homes. Maybe they want to take proceeds from the sale of a home and inject it into the retirement funds. Maybe they can reduce expenses. You know, whatever their situation may be, it could be any one of those moves or a combination, and it can totally push this red line off the page.
Well, what I'm thinking of like this, and I'm looking at this this analyzer, and I'm seeing the red line. Do you guys incorporate everything the client has, including maybe what they'll receive with Social Security?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see this on this chart. We have pensions, we have Social Security, we have any other income sources, all sorts of stuff. We take every moving part in their picture and combine it on one nice summary where they can see exactly where their situation what their situation looks like.
Now, when you think about, I'm thinking about advisors, and especially because you're on the show today representing the female side of our equation.
Right.
When I'm thinking about women in our business, right, they're looking for something sometimes to cut themselves out of the pack like you did. How powerful, as a woman advisor, is using a tactic like this retirement analyzer?
I just think walking into any appointment and feeling confident that you can answer any question the client throws out there. And you can do that with this tool at the click of a button, regardless of whether it's trying to analyze Social Security and when you should draw or what date you should retire. At the click of a button, you can answer the questions.
When you did this, how long ago did you start toying with this idea of this software?
I partnered originally with a gentleman named Chuck Cravens at 23, and the software at that time was really...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of 23, I've been out of college for what, 1 or 2 years?
Not even.
And you're already looking at analytics of a software system. How did you and your former partner, who's now deceased now, is that right?
That's correct,
So I'm
yes.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
What were you thinking though? I mean, how did you go from what we see today and what you created? When we come back from the break, we'll address the type of clients this software solution will attract to your business. And don't forget to enroll in IULUniversity.com for the best training, education, and sales support when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Welcome to the Brokers Alliance Auction House. I'm Jessica Lopez, and that's Steve Savant. What are you doing?
I'm practicing my auctioneer skills for our carrier bidding process for our producers' substandard cases.
Steve means that we're packaging our substandard cases for underwriters with specific carriers that are known to specialize in certain health impairments.
There are really only a handful of competitive carriers in each category, and we've identified who they are.
It's all about securing the best possible underwriting offer by packaging your substandard case with the right carriers.
So let the bidding begin. Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant. I'm here with Brooke Thomas. And remember, you can order today's giveaway at the biz at brokersalliance.com. And we're giving away a 14-day trial on our retirement analyzer. And I say take them up on it, because I think you're going to find it's more than just the red line. We're going to get into that in a moment. And remember, just a heads up, before moving forward with any of the things we talk on the show, always touch base with your tax consultant and your broker-dealer compliance department. We're talking about software that actually shows clients when they're going to run out of money using the proverbial red line, which is more like flatlining, right, financially, right? And you know, when we were talking about it at the beginning, I want to talk about two things. Before the first question is, you know, you started this at 23, then your partner died. What kind of changes have happened in the software? Has it been dramatic, or has it just been a huge upgrade, or several versions?
Huge upgrade. We really initially were focused on that retirement age of client. And obviously with me being so much younger, I had a need to show clients what they need to do to get from A to B and have a satisfactory retirement. So we started molding, tweaking the software. Steve and I actually just got done writing a brand new version of the program, and it addresses pre-retirement now just as much as it does retirement. So it's really focused on any age group out there.
Now, I'm just from a marketing point of view, I'm just interested. When you say pre-retirement, what does that mean? I mean, what are we looking for? What's that demographic? And why is that a good idea using this software?
Well, for that younger client, they want to know, what do I need to contribute? What date is realistic for me retiring? And so the software, we can pinpoint that for them, show them not only what they need to be contributing today, but what type of moves they need to make nearing retirement so that they don't run out of money.
So they can, along the timeline, if I'm understanding you, you're making fine-tuning, especially the younger people, you're making fine-tuning along the way, not waiting for a monster course adjustment, right?
Exactly.
Well, I like that. Now listen, how long, I'm just thinking as an advisor, I'm going to go out and take you up on your 14-day free look. how long does it take me to acclimate to this? How long is this a learning curve issue? Is it pretty easy, hard?
You mentioned in the last class, run this program on yourself after you download the 14-day free trial. From there, we look at 3 to 4 cases. I think one of the newest things that we're doing, and I actually want to talk about this a little bit, if we click to our agent locker, we have what we're calling a virtual power track training. And this is from start to finish, how you use this software. We run you through mock presentations. We actually teach you extensively on our repeatable sales process. We have you get up and demo. So this is a very, very intensive course. You have access to this obviously through Brokers Alliance.
Now when you start the course, let's say I'm starting day 1. From the time I start this course to the time I'm in the game usable, what is that period?
The course is 1 month. There's 2 sessions per week for an hour and a half, so 8 training sessions total, and 1 month of extensive training there. Now, you also have access to our power line, which is open from 8 to 5 Central every single day. These are other advisors sitting on the line, so they can help you with what to print out, what to say. Really, it gives it a different perspective than a lot of other software companies where you're talking, to a tech person or something.
So you have what I'm hearing you say is I have the web base, but I also have people online that I can call that actually know about like Social Security, the code, things of this nature.
They've actually made sales. They've actually been at the dining room table, so it's completely a different perspective.
Well, when I think about it, I'm thinking about one of the exhortations we gave when we had your partner on, when we had Steve on yesterday. I'm thinking you need to try this on your own. And I would hate to say it because about a third of the advisors I deal with, if they took this actual software, their red line would be way sooner than they thought. I mean, talk about it. We think that the shoemaker's son goes barefoot, the carpenter's roof leaks, the financial advisor's redlining 10 years before he's going to die. I mean, I just think that sometimes we don't take our own medicine.
No, that's totally true.
And then, of course, I think you should take 2 or 3 cases that you already have online, where you're already working real well with a couple clients, and say, I want to show you something new here and why this works. I could see this as doubling as a referral system too.
Well, and on that note, not only the software, you have access to that, but you also get access to all of our marketing materials. So the marketing materials, we have all sorts of things to help you prospect. I know you talked with Steve yesterday about our seminar package that goes hand in hand with the program. It's really an entire turnkey process. And I know everyone says that, but this really is an entire process.
Well, I like the turnkey part that makes me, because I've heard that 100 times, but the thing that makes me feel like this has a lot more value to it is the fact that I have live, on-demand guys I can talk to and walk me through this. See, that to me is, I mean, don't get me wrong, the locker room here looks great, right? The agent locker, now I want to go to this whole motif of a locker room, right? But all these things in here, materials, PowerPoints, appointment forms, virtual power track, fact packs, I mean, seminar program. I mean, this thing is completely packed. And the best part I like about it, especially with the analytic among us, is I have actual case studies that you can pull out and show as examples. Because I think some people are willing to show you their hand once you've showed them, here's a real example. It's kind of like playing cards. I'll show you my hand now. That I've seen that, I want to see my red line.
Well, and for advisors, when you go out to meet with these people, you're exactly right. They'll tend to sandbag on you when you're starting to ask for all of this information. It's a lot of information for a new prospect. So Steve and I, we recommend take out a presentation booklet, show them the red line, let them get a feel for the kind of questions you can answer and the kind of problems you can solve. So it helps break that wall down substantially.
Again, I just want to give everybody an exhortation. You got a 14-day trial. I mean, I would take you up on it. Before I let you go, what kind of vision do you see for this software? Do I see any new upgrades coming in the future?
Absolutely. We're just getting started. So we are constantly releasing additional calculators. We've got a great split annuity calculator that we just launched. There's all sorts of things that we're adding to this on a continual basis.
Well, I'm exhorting everybody, take them up on the 14-day trial. This is a huge track to run on, live people that you can talk to. That's all the things that people are looking for to up their game and bring their practice to the next level. Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And remember, you can watch this show and all our shows by clicking the red on-demand video button right on our homepage at brokersalliance.com. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone, the business insurance zone.
The Biz is brought to you by Brokers Alliance, a national leader in insurance products, support services, and educational workshops. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.